is their main role is to formulate the alternative policy. And when you look at the last parliament, which we had the opposition which came, they used to call it a wave. They said it was a wave because people didn't want to stand. They were not sure of what NUP it is. But those guys, they just picked somebody and they became members of parliament when they did not know what they are doing at all. And that kind of, the toxicity of that kind of choice also, I am sure, has affected this parliament. So what the problems we are seeing in what we are discussing, in the people being appointed with no experience, is the same problem we are seeing in the opposition. Actually, in the opposition, it is worse because most of the opposition people are new, except like if you see like these Mwirus, Nambeshe, Joel, but most of these guys are new. And most of these guys, remember, their slogan was a protest vote. So it was a protest. So whoever made figured the big Mudomo is the one that was chosen. Because it was a protest vote.
But when about English, are you saying?
Piga Mudomo is a Swahili word.
You're suggesting that the ones who made the loudest voice, the loudest
one who
noise.
beat the drum. the one who
they will disagree with you on that because they believe they were elected.
Yes, yes, they were elected
because of what they stood for.
Yes, yes, yes. They elected. They stood for protest. So now, but I'm being very objective, and how I wish this opposition that we are having, it is a reflection of what is happening in the society, and that is why we had a problem with the last parliament. So now, what you're asking, Kenneth, I don't want to have, but really, what do you expect? And remember also, these guys, the shadow cabinet, will have to depend on the research officers provided by Parliament. The other problem I told you, the meritocracy of the recruitment within the Parliament. So now, what do you expect? If we had like Sarah Bireete heading the research desk within the opposition, leader of opposition government, you would expect credibility of what is going to come out. But even now, they're also, the ruling government sets the pace.
Are you suggesting that they have not been up to task? They have not given the alternatives? Is that what you're saying?
Alternative policies? That is why in the last parliament we were only having and listening to Semuju.
He was the shadow minister for finance.
Yeah, but he's the only person you would listen to who is giving the alternative. And he would credibly give it and you say, yeah, wow, this is a very good diagnosis of the what? Of whatever he's talking. Tell me another person who produced something substantial to that level. Tell me.
There were many
shadow
ministers who...
You tell me one.
Shadow ministers who presented.
You tell me one who measured up to my good friend Semuju. And that's why the whole country would listen to Semuju. And you remember that's how even when we were in Parliament, we came to be rebels. Our counterparts, the other side, were sleeping. So we came in to fill the vacuum. You remember, Kenneth? We were together. We would be the one from Parliament, from the NRM, to be giving the alternative policies that works. You get my point?
But you also need to turn the coin the other side. Even when they give the alternative, are they listened to?
You see, well, yeah, one may say that they have not listened to them. But don't you see? If you have been following what Joel has been saying on this government on these corruption issues,
they didn't listen.
No, hasn't they taken action? Didn't they take action in Uganda Airlines? Haven't they taken action on Parliament? The way it was being spent. So sometimes they listen. Sometimes let me say we listen
and they pretend.
And those not me. They listen.
Because
and then they want to polish, then take action. And when that action comes when it is lethal.
And too late.
Yeah, so we should have an opposition. And if you have this opposition which is well seasoned and puts on those credible debate, I'm telling you, the citizens will come in. The powers to be will listen. You engage the parliament. Like now you have boss of boss. There will be, when we used to be that parliament, there was always that phrase of let's have a win-win. Win-win. You remember how many times the parliament was adjourned by second when we were putting a credible fight and say let's have a win-win. But if you don't have those who can present those credible, logically researched alternative policies, there will be they don't see any logic in what you are presenting, and so at the end of the day it is thrown out.
All right, Dr. Sarah Bireete, the quality of the opposition.
Well, first of all, in the leadership of the opposition cabinet, we have complaints of gender. You would have expected that of the 3 top positions, there would be a woman, because the opposition have senior legislators like Honorable Akero. I think she's doing her 4th term. You have Honorable Betty Numbers and others. So yes, so we would have loved to see gender balance in the top leadership of the opposition. On the size of cabinet, 30 people, they are even less than the threshold in the constitution of 42. They have done well on that. But when you look at the leadership of the committees, in some instances you would have the experienced people are deputizing, less experienced. So I think they could have done better in balancing the leadership of the committees. Overall, you know, on the quality of opposition in general, the current context and the current politics in NRM cannot give us any better opposition than we have. The politics of the day have warranted us poor quality in elective politics across board. And even in NRM, you find that the good qualified ministers, even in cabinet, are those that are coming from outside, the ones where we are contesting citizenship issues. They've been abroad. They are the top quality on that cabinet list. So you find that our politics have not propelled quality. Because of patronage, but also largely because of commercialization. Too much commercialization has kicked quality out of the window, and then violence on the side of the opposition cannot also enable a better quality than what we have. So the politics of that day have spoiled quality and value in elective politics, and we need to restore factory settings in that line.
All right, Dr. Jam.
That's a good one.
Yeah, the opposition, what kind of opposition are we likely to see? One that is submerged by mob justice. There is a mob justice in that parliament of the numbers of NRM. So as Honorable Bayenzaki was saying, even if you have very good opposition and you are giving very good alternatives, once the speaker puts it to those who say aye and those who say nay, the ayes, or depending on the situation, the nays will take it. So that is the major problem. The opposition is too small in parliament. When you look at the numbers, out of 528 MPs, they hardly make 100 genuine opposition. And you are aware that some of them are going to change during the course of their tenure in parliament. Like just in the 11th parliament, there are people who went there as opposition, but the parliament ended, like Kagabo, like Sibambi, like this man of Kawempe South, the former journalist. They had already changed it to. So the number is quite small, and therefore is going to suffer from mob justice. But as Sarah has said, the hydra in the country is going to eat some of them. And the biggest hydra in this country is this tyranny of the NRM. We have been duped for quite some time that, you know, this is a democratic country and the only measure of democracy is elections, and the other elements of democracy have been undermined because opposition can only work in a society where accountability is taken seriously. In this country, accountability is just for making books look fine. Nobody cares about accountability. People do things with impunity. There is a lot of mismanagement. So you are going to find that even affecting the opposition itself. Are they themselves accountable? Are they themselves accountable? Like, for example, when we are talking about the corruption in parliament, in the 11th parliament, I don't think even the members of opposition are free out of it. They have been participants in the whole thing because of lack of accountability. The other issue that would make a democracy is constitutionalism, where we adhere to the constitution. This is a country, you are going to reject something, the parliament is still going on, they bring SFC officers, they either tell you to get out of parliament or keep quiet or even disappear with you. So in such a state, even if you brought a very good opposition, it would not work. Thirdly, there is also another issue of citizenry participation. Because opposition can only be strong when they have a citizenry that has a strong civil society organizations. As you know, civil society organizations have been almost eliminated in this country. And you cannot have a country which is operating democratically without civil society organizations. Because the work of the civil society organizations is to push the citizen to ask the questions that Honorable Bayenzaki was asking about, to educate them, to empower them, to help them to achieve these gender parities that Sarah is talking about. In this country, they are not needed. The only thing that we support is elections. And finally, poverty. You see, majority of these members of parliament come to this house when they are poor. And when they arrive there, they are seeing how to make ends meet. And that make ends meet is going to make them, many of them will be on flights to go and benchmark because there is some allowance that you can get out of it. There is a project being brought by government, and therefore you have to befriend the government to get onto that project. You have seen opposition leaders. These days they start disclosing without knowing that the other day we were meeting Salim Saleh on this issue of Operation Wealth Creation, and he promised us ABCD.
There's nothing wrong with consulting.
I don't think that when you go to meet Salim Saleh, you are going to consult, because consult him on what? He's not even he's not in any structure of government. He's not on any structure of government. I don't know, but I'm telling you the truth. You are not on any structure of government.
Office of the president.
The office of the president.
Yes.
So you are neither here nor there. So you see, with such a corrupt system, you have just heard that such a thing. You cannot get a genuine opposition. But this should not be excuse for opposition not to do their work. They have told us that they are going to go there, as he has said. They have going. You said they went there to do what? To protest. Protest is not a bad thing, and it is one element of opposition. So they should go there, protest bad laws. For example, I am very saddened that in this country we still have people who were taken to jail and they are on bail, they are on remand for the last 7 years. People are on remand for the last 7 years. So for me, that's why I was disagreeing with somebody who was talking about a parliament. A parliament which goes to parliament and raises an issue of law. somebody has been on bail for the last 7 years on even a non-criminal. The issue is not criminal. They got you, for example, putting on a cloth. You did not kill somebody. You did not remove a government. But somebody goes to jail, he's taken to Chitalia or any other prison, and is remanded for the last 7 years. Some, even their cases have not been mentioned, just to be mentioned in the real court. And then you have people in the parliament saying that they are promoting constitutionalism. So for me, I think that we need to support these people, and therefore MPs need to be asked questions. For example, every MP, just like I said on ministers, we need to know how many motions have you participated in? How many accountabilities have you participated on? This business of going to parliament to just say nay, I is not order of the day. So for me, I think that we don't have opposition in Uganda. The number is minimal, because even if they go there, you can talk until the chicken come back home. But when the speaker puts the question to a vote, you will lose, because the ratio is still too small. We need a country like, for example, in the United States, when you look at the opposition now are the Democrats. The difference is 3 people, 4 people. So there can be engagement. At one time in Kenya, there was some opposition, you remember, during the Jubilee government, that you have even to woo some members of the opposition to support you to win your motion. But in a country where you have 300 something to 94, there is nothing. There's nothing. It's a waste of time.
All right.